today is a day of panels and conversations. And what I love about conversations is that it allows us to just be real. It allows us to connect with each other. Those that are on as participants, please go ahead. If you see me leaning over, it's because I'm checking the chat. Go ahead and let us know where you are watching from. I see plenty. I see you all on the chat. If you don't mind, just correspond with us. Let us know where have you tuned in from to listen to the Power Moms today. And as you listen to that first segment, I pray that you have heard something that has shifted you even from that beginning. I see Akron, Ohio, Duluth, Georgia. I don't know if I said that right, but Georgia is in the house. Ohio is in the house. Thank you all for joining us. Who else do we have in the house? Go ahead and give us some information in the chat. Where are you from? Houston, Texas is in the house. Who else do we have in the house? We have Orlando in the house. Thank you, Orlando, for joining in with the Power Moms today. Another Houston, Texas. Houston is representing Nashville, Tennessee. Columbus, Ohio. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you all. This is amazing that we are all in just different parts of the world. San Antonio, Texas. Thank you all for joining in. Listen, Texas is representing today. We have a lot of Texans in the house. You know, I'm from Texas, so I have to give Texas my shout outs. Thank you all for joining in. So we're going to go ahead and keep going. And as I said before, make sure you make some comments in the chat as you connect with the speakers. Give them some encouragement, some motivation, so we can let them know how you are being inspired, empowered, and changed by what you're hearing. So now we're going to go ahead and bring up our next panel. We're going to get our next panel together that is hosted by Araceli Avionn. So we're going to bring Araceli up as she gets ready to bring on her panel. And her panel includes Chastity Hurd, Sasha Payne, and Shirley Walker King. So Araceli is one of our Power Moms for Power Moms 3.0. So we thank you for joining on, and we're going to go ahead and turn it over to you. So go ahead and take it away, Araceli.
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm clearing my screen. I see the comments. I see everyone's interacting this morning. We love that. We appreciate that. So this morning, I'm going to be hosting a panel, and we're going to be talking about confidence and invisible strength. But before we do that, we have some amazing women on the panel doing amazing things in their community, in their lives, in their world. So I just want them to introduce themselves first and tell us a little bit and give us a little bit of background on themselves so that the audience knows exactly who we're speaking to. So I'm Sasha and Ms. Shirley. You can go ahead and unmute yourselves so that we can go ahead and start. All right, Sasha Payne, amazing businesswoman, amazing mom. Go ahead and give us a little bit of background on yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Sasha Payne, owner of iHeartLash Studio and iHeartLash Academy. I am a mother of 2 boys, 13 and 7, and I'm honored to be a part of the panel today. And by the way, I'm from Houston too.
Awesome, awesome. Miss Shirley King, go ahead and give the audience a little background on you.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, or whichever one comes first. As a military spouse, I always say that because I know we can tune in from everywhere in the world. I'd like to know, first of all, can everybody hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up? Awesome. I see some hands and shaking. Yes, thank you. Okay, so yes, my name is Shirley Maria Walker King. As everyone who does know me like to know, when I give you my middle name, is because I'm having a good hair day. So yes, I am an author, speaker, and coach. And I did mention military spouse because I have circled back to a family that has always welcomed me, and that is my military family. So shout out to any military spouses out there. Great that you guys are joining us. I'm located currently in Dallas, Texas, and I've lived everywhere from Maryland, DC to Naples, Italy. Former professional basketball player, and I am a member of the Power Moms 1 book.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being a part of my panel. So we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to start on the topic of confidence. And confidence is so important for us women, especially in our personal lives and more so in the workforce. We really have to move with confidence, and many of our careers and in our industries, we may be the minority. So we really have to be out there. We have to be heard, but it's also important for us to be heard in the correct way. So I'll start with you, Miss Shirley. I want you to tell me a little bit about why do you think it's important for women to find their confidence, not only in their personal life, but in their business world, in their professional world as well?
I will start by saying this. I think it's important that as women, we teach our young girls and daughters to find their inner confidence at an early age. I won't say it's never too late, but I think when you teach them their confidence at an early age, it's less challenging for someone to try and take her down and take her crown. So I will start off by definitely saying that it's very important that we teach and engrave that confidence into young girls early. One of the reasons why is because as African Americans, you need that body of armor, and your confidence can be a body of armor that protects you from the outside elements that want to take you down. So by giving them their confidence early and having your confidence, you can go after your goals, personal, financially, in relationships. You know who you are and where you come from. And when that foundation of confidence is strong, everything else will fall into place.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that. And Sasha, you are a business owner. You are the owner of a cosmetology school. You see women every day. You're teaching women, you're molding, you're mentoring. How did you find your confidence to jump out and take on this task?
I found my confidence, I want to say, after like a really deep depression. I do have to agree with Ms. King that once you find confidence, it kind of lays the foundation, and no one can take your crown from that. But coming up very young and not having confidence, it took a lot to learn confidence. So after a deep depression and just trying to find myself, that's when I kind of built myself up on confidence. So now I'm able to help other women who are kind of struggling with the same thing or going down the same path, find their confidence, because it is important that you have that in your business life and in your personal life. So on the days where you can't find anything else, you can lean on your own confidence.
Right. And it was important that you both made very good points. Miss Shirley, you said it's important to have it at an early age, and so that you can build and grow, and that you can also go into it and learn. And then Sasha, you mentioned you didn't have that confidence when you were younger, and then you were able to build that confidence. If you could give us just 2 tidbits of what you may have done or what you tell your young girls that you're mentoring, of how do you begin to grow that confidence that you may not previously had?
I personally write out daily affirmations. I have affirmations on my TV, in my room, on my mirror, in my restroom. Just a daily reminder of who I am, and what I can do, what I've already accomplished. That helps you build your confidence. When you look back on the things that you've already accomplished, that just gives you a fuel to know that you can still accomplish more. So those are some things.
That's good. That's awesome. Confidence is all about living courageously, being fearless, being determined. And that's a little bit of what you all touched on. So I like that. As a part of the book, P.O.W.E.R Moms, that I'm a part of, P.O.W.E.R Moms 3.0, amazing group of ladies, everyone in the P.O.W.E.R Moms, everyone on here is a P.O.W.E.R Mom in their own way. In the book, I talk a lot about invisible strength. And for me, invisible strength is when you're at one of your lowest moments, you're able to find something within yourself that helps you push forward. No one else can see what that strength is. That strength doesn't come from anyone else. It's something that's built within you that only you can see, that helps you, that motivates you, that pulls you up from wherever you're at, that gives you focus on what you're trying to achieve in the future. It's when your mind and your emotions meet in one place and push you forward. And so for me, finding my invisible strength has helped me be a part of this amazing opportunity. It also helped me raise my amazing son that I have. I don't think I threw that out there. I have an 8-year-old amazing son that is the light of my world. And so it has helped me be a better mom with having my invisible strength and, becoming where I am in corporate America. And so I want to push that out a little bit to you, as well as if with saying that invisible strength is something that you can only see and something that helps build you up and continue to push you forward. Miss Shirley, how would you say that invisible strength has helped you in your professional world or personal, either one that you would want to harp on?
For me, professionally, invisible strength has helped me grow who I am as a person in my profession. My background of over 25 years of human resource management in corporate government and the private sector has been across to bear. I am dyslexic, but that is something that I have never let hold me back. And my inner strength and my invisible strength, if you will, has allowed me to move beyond the naysayers and any negativity that comes my way, because people don't see disabilities that aren't visible. So there's so much judgment out there, and people who do have disabilities, learning disabilities, always feel that they're being judged and they're being critiqued. I've never let that stop me. And one of the reasons I've never let that stop me is because I come from a strong line of queens who have told me and taught me and put into me that I can do anything that I put my mind to. Whether I succeed or whether I fail is up to me. And so that has been something that inside of me keeps me going, knowing what my mother went through, knowing what her mother went through and her mother before her, knowing what they went through so that I could be here today without chains. That is the invisible strength and courage that has helped me pursue a degree, knowing that I'm dyslexic. That has helped me to write not one, not two, but 3 best-selling books. That has allowed me to be a public speaker. That has allowed me to be on boards, that has allowed me to mentor other youth and young adults and be on platforms, on national platforms. I've been on the Dr. Phil show as a coach. This dyslexic girl who people critique because of her grammatical writings. Never let it stop you.
I like how you say you've never let it stop you and you just keep going. And that's amazing. But how have you been able to hold on to that? How do you stay motivated? How are you not allowed, you don't let anyone take that away from you? What have you done to keep that and to keep moving forward?
Again, it goes back to knowing that the women before me went through much more than I did. So if they made it with what they went through, I can do this.
Absolutely.
I can do this. Their voice, their accomplishments, and their strength keeps me going. That's what pushes me, both professionally and personally.
That's awesome. Awesome. Sasha, you have 2 boys. I have 1. I know they're busy and you're constantly moving and you're constantly changing and you're transitioning. I've seen you opening the school, opening your store. And what have you found has been your strength and your invisible strength? And how did you find your invisible strength to take on these amazing accomplishments that you've done?
Number one, my boys are my strength. They are very supportive in what I'm doing, and for them to be so young, it's pretty amazing to see that each day they're, Mom, how was your day? Mom, how is it going at the salon? How is it going at the school? That, number one, is strength from the children. And that just kind of gives me fuel to not give up on what I'm currently doing, because they are pushing me just as well as I'm pushing myself. But my invisible strength has pushed me to achieve the things that I've achieved, because I didn't come with a beauty background, and building this school has been something amazing because I'd never seen it in a million years. I started off working for the state of Texas, just behind the desk, same old every day. And one day I just woke up and said, I need something new. So stepping into, with my invisible strength, I was able to build something that was kind of unheard of to my family and to my bloodline. And in the beginning, it was hard because everyone was like, what are you doing? People are not going to invest in that, or, that's unheard of. And I had to gain some type of strength to keep going and, cut out the naysayers, because if I listened to what they were saying, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, and I find my invisible strength through fasting and through prayer. When I don't know what to do next, I just fall into a place of fasting and prayer just to kind of get a guidance from God himself.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies. I like that. I like that. Sometimes, staying focused, that's what it takes. You have to get into your own zone. And I found a lot of times when I'm trying to stay focused or have a goal, or I'm trying to find my strength, I find it beneficial for myself to set goals. I set goals and I celebrate those goals when I win, and I celebrate the small wins. I think it's so important that when you're trying to achieve some sort of success, and like Sasha said, sometimes you have these naysayers, you have to be your own cheerleader sometimes. And I think we've all seen that. We have been our biggest cheerleader. Yesterday was International Women's Day. I saw a lot of women being their own cheerleader. That is what we have to do. And so with being my own cheerleader, I set my goals. I like to write them out. I want to write out my goals and I want to mark them off when I get there. I want to see them highlighted. I want to see that check mark. And that is what I have found beneficial to keep me on track. Setting goals, reaching goals, and celebrating them. And so, Ms. Shirley, with trying to stay focused on the things that you're aspiring to do and within that have given you the confidence to move towards, how is it that you're able to stay focused and stay on the straight and narrow to achieve what you're wanting to achieve?
One of the things that has allowed me to stay focused through everything that we're going through is I have learned to say no, and I have learned to put self first. As power moms, we focus so much on everybody else. Sometimes we forget that we need to set boundaries and limits. And I have learned to not only continue to set my boundaries, but reinforce them as needed. And that has allowed me to be able to stay focused on what I need to do, my purpose, so that I can help others find their purpose.
I like that. That is so important. And I like that you said that sometimes you have to say no. I think prior to 2020, I said yes to everything. And it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter how far, if I was up 24 hours in a day, it didn't matter how much I committed to. It didn't matter if I ran myself into the ground. I was going to commit to achieving whatever it is that others needed out of me. I let it pull so much out of me. That was in personal life and professional world. And I learned I had to set boundaries, not only in professional world and personal. Because when you come home, you all are business women. You know that when you're at work, you're working. And then you come home, you have your children and you're still working, and they're looking at you like, well, you just got off work. And so you're not setting time aside for yourself. In 2021, I started to do that. And my peace has improved so much. So I just appreciate you saying that. The setting boundaries is so important, not only for yourself, but it's important for you to for your where you're trying to be. Your mind is more clear at work because you're going back into work with a clear head, and then you're also giving back and feeding back into your family when you learn to set boundaries. And I mean, boundaries is setting boundaries at home as well and in the professional world. So I appreciate that. And I think so many women, we give so much, and I think that comes from being a mom, trying to just have everything, you just keep going. So I appreciate you saying that. And Sasha, give us something about you. How do you stay focused? How do you get to that goal? What would you say to the people?
I have to agree with setting boundaries. I just started setting boundaries actually last year, this time when everything started to happen with COVID. I started to learn how to pace myself, and then just kind of take a break. I'm a person that does not like to take breaks, and I had to learn that you have to take a break. You can't just keep going. You're going to run yourself in the ground. Your health becomes at risk when you keep going like that. So I've learned to take breaks. I've learned to set boundaries, and like you said, in personal life and in business life. So when I leave for the day, when I'm done at the school, the phone go on do not disturb. And when it's boys' time, it's boys' time. And I just really set boundaries for everything. When it's me time, it's my time. So that's just something that I do to kind of keep myself level-headed and take vacations. Like I'm ready to go back and travel. When you can travel, you can see new light into other things when you travel around the world.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you said you started setting boundaries and doing more. Would you say that that's attributed to with all the changes that are going on in the current world? Is that what has kind of forced you to slow down and actually set your directions?
Yes, because if you can see the world slow down due to a virus, why can't you slow down?
I like that. Miss Shirley, have you always been able to slow down and set boundaries, or has the new normal kind of shifted the way you move throughout day to day? Tell me a little bit about that.
I would say the new normal has shifted the way that I go about my day-to-day and resetting expectations. If you don't mind, I'd like for people to put that in the chat, hashtag reset expectations or hashtag boundaries, and let's share, because what I found is when you hear other people's boundaries that they've set or their expectations, it's a light bulb for you to let you know that it's okay. So yeah, if some of you guys want to put that in that chat and say, what boundaries have you set? What re-expectations have you done with people? Let us share so that we can let somebody else know that it's okay. But yes, I would go back to your question that says, yes, I would say it's the makings of everything that happened in 2020 has allowed me to, what I like to say, refocus. Because see, we all went into 2020 focused. We focus. I'm about to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And 2020 made us refocus and reset expectations.
I love that. I love that. We have. So within your invisible strength and confidence, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult navigating through that. And some of us women, we're not, not as strong to do that. And confidence with finding it in the professional world, with navigating through it, maybe working in a mostly predominantly male field. How would you navigate through that? What tips would you have to the women on this call of navigating through a male dominantly field and industry like that? How do you find your confidence to sit at the table? How do you find your confidence to be heard? Because there's a difference between sitting at the table and being heard at the table. So what tips would you have, or how have you implemented that in your life to find that confidence? And what would you have for us? What tips would you give us to move forward with that?
I'm sorry, what are you coming to me?
Ms.
Yes,
Shirley.
ma'am. Well, let me give you a quick little story. While stationed overseas in Naples, Italy, is when I got an opportunity to play professional basketball at the age of 30. So that was a challenge in itself. But this story is to give you is overseas, there are different expectations of women. And when I would go into professional meetings with Italian men, I was told I needed to sit down right away because Italian men don't like looking up to women. I'm kind of tall. So that was something that I had to learn to navigate, being at a table with predominantly men in a sport that is set out for men, if you will. And how I learned to navigate that is I just bring who I am to the table. What you see is what you get. That's it. I do, however, bring some respect level to that. So I wouldn't try and dominate a man by standing over him. I would greet them and we would have a seat, but I would also let them know that I'm here because of who I am, not because of my gender. I'm not into that. I can do everything a man can do. I can do what God has gifted me to do. And so I just bring my inner confidence to the table in a male-dominated sport as basketball and entertainment, because we do entertainment and I've been challenged on that. And I just, again, just bring who I am to the table, period.
I like that. So come in and be yourself. Either they're going to accept it or they're not. No, I'm just kidding. That's not how it goes. But having that confidence is so good. Sasha, I kind of followed your journey when you were building your school, and I saw you had to do build outs, and there were some good days and there were bad days. I saw you working with contractors, and generally, I'm not saying only, generally those contractors are male contractors, and you're having to negotiate contracts and pricing and things of that nature. And generally you're interacting with just men. How did you find the confidence to say, okay, it needs to be A, B, C, and D. You stand on that line. You don't veer away from it. So how do you find your confidence to be a woman in sometimes a male-dominated world? How do you still keep your woman respectfulness about you, but you're navigating through that field?
You just have to, what is the word I'm looking for in a nice way? You have to be stern when you're dealing with male contractors. Before building the school, I built the salon, which is on the other side. So I kind of had experience this time around versus the first time around. I lost so much money because they saw a female building something new. I probably lost about 10 or 11 grand just in trusting certain contractors and they not returning or taking on so many jobs and then putting you at the bottom of the list. So this time around, I had my mind made up what I wanted. I knew what I wanted. I knew the amount of time that it would take to build out this side of the school. And I just didn't take no for an answer. Like, you're going to come in, you're going to get the work done. This is what needs to be done, nothing extra. This is what I'm going to pay, and we're going to get it done. It's business, so you have to still, you can be nice and fragile with them, but sometimes you have to be stern, especially when it's males and they see a female by herself. Just have to kind of be stern in a nice way, like, we're going to get this done and I'm going to pay you and you're going to go along your little way.
I like that. Being stern and coming to the table and knowing who you are. That's how you're navigating with your confidence.
And knowing what you want, because if they feel like they can change your mind, they'll try and change your mind. And that's not the case. You definitely have to know what you want.
Well, that's so important. Women, when you're moving forward, moving in intentionally with confidence and fearlessly, that's so important. And so before we wrap it up, I just have one more question. So being confident and having your invisible strength, we're all power moms, and a lot of us do it for our children. Why do you think it's been so important to have that confidence and invisible strength for your children while working on continuing that legacy for them? Because a lot of us, I know from my story, and Miss Shirley, you can let us know from you, and I know from Sasha's story, the legacy and the future that we're building for our children is a completely different from where how we were brought up. And so that is very important for me to lead with confidence and that surety so that I can build that legacy for my child. So I'll start with Miss Shirley. How has your invisible strength and your confidence been so important in the long run when you're thinking about?
I would say, as a mother of a daughter, I thought it was very important for me to lead by example. The first and foremost thing is, if she can see it, she can be it. They have to see someone who looks like them in an opportunity that they want to be in. If they don't see someone who looks like them, it limits their expectations and it brings their four walls smaller, and they don't think that it's possible for them. So in order for me to be a mentor, not just a mother, but a mentor to several hundred young girls, I have to show them that you can move beyond your limitations. One with being dyslexic and writing books. And they're always, because there's so many young girls who have learning disabilities and they feel like they can't do this because they've been told they're not smart enough, or athletes who told them they're not the best athlete. They get put down. So I think by me showing them that I've overcome so many obstacles, that's the best legacy that I can leave for them, is to show them that I did it and they too can do it.
Absolutely. I love that. And it just feeds into how I feel representation matters.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
So how I carry myself and how I come to the table and leave the table when I come to the workforce and leave the workforce, that representation and that impression is going to be a lasting impression for the women behind me, especially the women that look like me. So I really love that you said that. Sasha, so why is it important, your invisible strength and your confidence, when thinking about leaving a legacy for your children?
Like Ms. King said, Dr. King said, you definitely have to show them an example. honestly, just listening to the conversation of my kids, I know that I'm leading by example because, you know, they see that their mom built the business, and that's something that they want to do. They want to create their own or invent their own. And that's amazing because, like I said, growing up, I didn't see this. I didn't see entrepreneurship. I was always told that you had to go to college, get a job, and, you know, it's just a certain path that you had to take to be successful. Me being stepping out of that path and building my own to be successful was something new. But my kids are able to see that, and I feel like it's important for them to see that so that they're not trapped in this little square or this little box feeling that they have to do a certain thing a certain way. Because it's, once you step out of the box, that's when it's infinite possibility. So that's why I feel like confidence and invisible strength is important.
Absolutely. Everyone, your children can be whatever they desire to be. And we have to show everyone that that's the direction that we want to go into. So I thank you ladies for being a part of my panel on invisible strength and confidence. However, I want the audience to really know how they can get in touch with you if they want to contact you. How do we find you? Miss Shirley, how does the audience find you?
You can reach me on all social media platforms at Shirley Walker King, and on Twitter it's Miss SWK, the number 1. But I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. LinkedIn, I'm very active there. My website itself is shirleywalkerking.com as well.
Thank you, thank you. Sasha, how do we find you?
iHeart Lash Studio or iHeart Lash Academy, either way, or my website is iHeartLashAcademy.com. And my social medias are iHeart Lash Studio or Academy, either one. You can find me on either.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're gonna start transitioning into the next panel, but I really appreciate you ladies today.
Thank you.
Awesome. And also, guys, this is Araceli Johnson. I'm one of the panelists too. Araceli, you had some comments in here. To everyone that's attending on today, don't stop making your chats, you know, putting in the comments your chats and different things like that on the speakers. Miss Shirley, Sasha, thank you for speaking on today. We had December West and Nikki, you know, they are some attendees. They are saying that they agree with you guys, that they can relate, that they appreciate it. Keep those hashtags coming, guys. I love that idea, Miss Shirley. That is a really good idea to set those boundaries. Some Samsung Galaxy J3, they didn't say who their name are, but they actually was able to put some boundaries saying, I like saying no, especially for my business. So that's one. Also, Miss Gloria. Hi, Miss Gloria. How are you? She said that she likes to refocus, reset her expectations, and also set boundaries as well. Also, guys, while you're in the chats, we have our sponsors who are the sponsors for this event. So make sure that you look up who our sponsors are if you want to connect with them. Also, all of the speakers today will be putting in how you can contact them. So if you missed, if they said, okay, go to my Facebook page, my LinkedIn at such and such, but you didn't catch it, make sure you go in the comments and you look at how to catch up with these fabulous speakers on today. So continue with putting some comments in the chat, and we'll be monitoring all of your comments for each panel.
Thank you, Araceli.
You're welcome.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Listen, do you all love the love that is on here? Like we're just all giving each other high fives virtually, saying thank you all. So thank you all, panelists. That was amazing. We're taking notes. We're going to learn how to model what Miss Sasha is doing. We got Shirley Walker King, who's an amazing boss power mom that has been on a few different panels with me, and she always just shuts it down. And she was having a good hair day today, so we're glad she said her middle name. So we thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much, Araceli.